Here at Linux Academy, we've always been about putting your future first. This year alone, we've released over 420 new courses, challenges, and other hands-on learning activities. More important than any number, though, is our attention to content quality, relevancy, and accessibility. However, the sheer amount of that content can still seem overwhelming. That's why we've built custom features that help you find, learn, and retain all of that new information. When it comes to planning our content roadmap, who better to impact those decisions than the users themselves? Our thriving community is constantly inspiring us for what to deliver next. At the end of the day, our most valuable resource is you, the community. Simultaneously, our full-time staff always stays on the cutting edge by identifying the latest cloud platform updates, new certifications, and ever-changing exam requirements. That's all well and good, but all that content is only usable if you can quickly and easily locate it. We have released the new Learning Center that enables users to find exactly what they're looking for faster than ever before. We've also created Instant Labs, which means you'll be able to play with cloud environments with preloaded resources immediately. With the brand new Cloud Playground, you get to experiment in a sandbox environment without having to create virtual machines or manage other accounts. Paired with our Instant Terminal, you never have to download any tools or open any ports. And lastly, if you're a manager, you'll be able to see how well your team is learning overall through the Enterprise Dashboard. As we continue innovating our new platform with the great rewrite into 2019, we're excited to see how you will use your new skills to change the world.
If you would have told me a year ago that I would be working with AWS now in my career, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. What is AWS? What is Oz? What is Oz? I don't know what that is. From high school to now, man, I held like 182,000 jobs. I felt like I should be doing more to make sure my family is secure and make sure we have those opportunities to make memories. I knew nothing about IT, but yet I woke up one day with this idea of this is what I'm going to do with my life. So what I did was I Googled the top paying certifications in the United States. So I look at AWS Solutions Architect, and that was number 2. And as I read up on more about the cloud, that's what I want to do. I want to become an AWS Solutions Architect. So who's teaching? People kept popping up. Oh man, Linux Academy, Linux Academy, Linux Academy. I was like, what's this Linux Academy? With the free trial, it allowed me to take AWS Concepts and Essentials course. I came to realize, like, man, I actually think I like this. Like, I want to continue. And that's been the best decision I've ever made in my life. First certification, I got it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give me a job. Yeah, I'll pay in one too. No, realize, oh, you need more than one cert. So right after my second certification, the AWS Developer Associate, I started immediately studying for SysOps. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bang this out 30 days. No problem. 30 days go, I get through the course, I'm just banging it out, boom. I go and I fail. I remember giving a phone call to my wife and I'm like, hey, I didn't pass. That just broke me down and I was like, man, so maybe I'm not good enough for this. I had to look at my circumstances and situations. Like, no matter what, this is it. My life depended on it. I wanted it like I needed a drink of water and I was in the desert. So went back, reviewed my weak spots, continued to do hands-on labs, take the practice test, and then 14 days later, I passed the exam. If you're waking up today and you're deciding, hey, I want to do this, I want to go to Linux Academy and train and get this position, I'm telling you, you can do it. Period. I've done it. I've been in your shoes. Plus is a bonus. After I passed the SysOps, I just came across this opportunity with Linux Academy. this is it, man. I'm telling you, put the work in. Linux Academy is here to take care of you. Great quality content. I'm the content support manager, so all you have to do is hit me up. I got you. Trust me.
Live.
Awesome.
All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Anthony James, founder and CEO of LinuxAcademy.com, and I'm joined by Chris Fisher, who just introduced yourself.
I'm the VP of Community here. We run the shows over at JupiterBroadcasting.com. Links and all of that stuff will be up on the screen when you're watching. And I'm here to join you to announce some awesome content today. Came down from the beautiful Pacific Northwest just to be here.
You got married on your way down
That's
here.
right. This is my honeymoon.
Yeah, this is your honeymoon.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does that say about how much you love the students and everything at Linux Academy?
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I am in, and it is exciting too because I've been watching the demand for this stuff that we're about to release today build and build and build. I had to be here for
It's
it.
getting big. It's getting big. Well, we're glad we're here. Congratulations on behalf of everybody at Linux Academy.
Thank you.
On getting married. Now,
Oh,
if you-
stop. You're going to embarrass me.
Well, so I just did that too. It's okay.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, we'll do it. So I don't know if you follow Chris Fisher on Twitter, right? Because you know, founder of Jupiter Broadcasting.
That's true.
There's 5. So we're talking about content launches, but the kicker is there's a new content launch almost 3 to 4 times a week on the podcast. That
yeah, absolutely.
And you know, you like talking to everybody at Linux Academy about what's covered on this podcast. Like you know, they announced Firecracker. You had coverage on Firecracker. Same day on those. Just tell us about what's going on there.
One of the things that's kind of cool is we've gotten involved with the community at Linux Academy is we can get a beat on what the students are interested in too. And with the podcast network, we move quick. You know, we take in information, we can build shows around that, and we can get information out the day of an announcement, really, which is great. So yeah, a lot of things. When reInvent was going on, those announcements were coming out, we were turning out podcasts about that. Of course, every week we're doing that. That's just what we do. And I think it complements the much more in-depth educational content that you then find on the platform later on.
Well, you know, being CEO of Linux Academy, I like to stay up to date on the technology. That's honestly like it consolidates all the resources I used to have to try to look at. And I try.
We
to
are
go
the
through
new RSS
podcast.
reader.
Yeah, so I try to do that, which is pretty cool. But we're here with a lot of people. In fact, we should give Terry an opportunity to introduce everybody on the live stream that we have. It's January. It's content launch. So this is the first of 3 shows, I believe. Now, if you're not aware, we already launched the AZ100 certification prep course. Now, this course just isn't any ordinary prep course. Why? Because it's got Linux Academy features wrapped around it. You're talking about interactive diagrams. You're talking about hands-on labs, instant hands-on labs where we deploy the environment for you. It takes a second to launch. You learn more in a lunch hour than you will anywhere else. It covers 100% exam objectives. It has flashcards. It has practice exams. It has all of those things. It is literally the best AZ prep course on the market, and our team is the second AWS. No, the second Azure announced the certification changes in October. The team literally threw away what they were working on, repivoted from the ground up, and got started. So they've been working on it for a while. And so Terry, do you want to take a second and introduce everybody that we have on the live stream? And then we'll even say hi to a special guest who's joining us in here as well, who's just ready to stick his head in. So go ahead, Terry, we'll go there next.
Absolutely. So as Anthony alluded to, we have Chad Kroll on here, who's going to be the voice of your AZ100 certification course, and he'll have an opportunity to talk about it in just a few minutes. We have Armin Krpanik, who's working in the security domain, as well as Mr. Robert Salmons, who is also working in the domain, and you'll see him dance on your screen in just a little bit. For AWS, we've got Mr. Mark Richardson, Mr. Craig Arcuri, and again, in the security domain, we have Justin Mitchell. And in the big data and DevOps domain, we have Miles Young, who's all joining us today to talk about all of the releases that we have for at least this particular stream this quarter.
Next stream, I think, is on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Is that right, Chris? Do you know?
I think so. I always go to linuxacademy.com/live and I just double check.
Well, and even enter into
I believe it's on the 20. I believe it's on next Tuesday and the following Tuesday.
Next Tuesday and the
okay.
following Tuesday.
Oh,
Okay.
we're gonna have to wait a while.
Yeah, we're gonna be teased. Oh man! All right,
Okay.
all right.
That's cool.
So real quick, Tom Hazlitt, come stick your head in
Yeah,
here.
hey,
Say
Tom,
hello.
come
We're
say
gonna
hi.
see Tom on the stream
He's gonna be
here.
here just a moment.
He is. He wasn't prepped for this. We like doing it on the spot.
Come on, Tom. Come on.
Here he is. So Tom Hazlitt
How y'all doing?
From the Pacific Northwest.
I came down
in
too.
the office. Yeah. So
That's
you're
right.
here actually onboarding some new content support managers.
I
right?
am, yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's exciting. Broadus is here in the office.
Broadus is here in the office. well. You all just saw the video of Broadus before the stream went live. He's here, came in from the Northeast.
great.
I came in from Pacific Northwest.
It's a party.
And
it's a big
we got
party.
a bunch of people in town right now.
Yeah, well, if you're not following Broadus on LinkedIn, you need to, because he does almost like daily inspirational things to keep everybody motivated and learning.
It's on Twitter too. He's active pretty good on Twitter too.
Sometimes it's hard to just get motivated, and then you just need a good swift kick in the rear, and he does that. It's really good.
A
Broadus boost.
Absolutely. Broadus boost.
Yeah.
But you know,
Trademarked.
Broadus boost. Okay.
All right, now, hold on. You
There
got more
it
to go,
is.
but we have something that we have for everybody.
Yes,
Everybody.
yes.
This is our first big announcement, and you helped us with this, so I think you should be the one to really cue up the special thing that we have to introduce.
Well, we have a video ready to get it started. So let's play that video, and then we'll dive right into it. Are you an aspiring developer, systems engineer, cloud architect, serverless architect? You know, you're probably wondering why Linux. As the world's largest open source project, Linux is also the most exciting tool that companies and individuals and entrepreneurs and engineers have access to utilize. The really great thing about Linux is if you look deep, you'll find that empowers everything from cloud to developers to rockets landing on the moon. 50% of the virtual machines on Azure and over 80% of the virtual machines on Amazon Web Services run on Linux. Every single major space program in the world, including SpaceX and NASA, all are built on and run on Linux. Learning Linux can literally help you reach other worlds. Even Microsoft has recently jumped on the Linux bandwagon and said we love Linux by porting over their .NET and SQL frameworks to run on Linux. Now, as a developer, you might be noticing the new world of microservice and even serverless architectures and be wondering, how does Linux play a role into this? We train on anything that runs on Linux, anything that Linux runs on. That means you'll be able to find AWS, Google, Azure, DevOps, serverless, Linux, and big data, and development, and even more content inside of Linux Academy. And as founder and CEO, my name is Anthony James, and I'm just so excited to share this platform with you, this world-changing Linux training, which really can empower you to change the world and even land on different worlds. Now, I'd like to encourage you to take this course as it walks you through the Linux Academy feature set, which is our hands-on training and different tools utilized to help you be successful in achieving your goal. So come on in and join us and look at the content library, start learning Linux, development, serverless, or something else and change the world. So that is the new intro video to our How to Use Linux Academy course. We had a course out there called Introduction to Linux Academy. But really, what's so awesome about Linux Academy is we have a 125-person team, which I think just grew yesterday, so I might need to update my math there.
It grew by it was two brand new people on the content team, and then there was more in customer success, sales, support as well. I think, it's growing all over the place.
I think we had five additional new people start yesterday, and we're updating so much stuff. So think of all the content we're launching. You might want to know, hey, how do we update content? You're working on a bunch of great stuff for the product in terms of content. All of the development team is working on a lot of great stuff. New flashcards, you can fork decks, new study groups that are more forum-like and easier to use. You know, there's so much stuff coming, but how do you stay up to date with all of this? How do I understand my full membership, the features of Cloud Playground, the features of Hands-On Labs, Instant Labs, the why behind it? Well, that's what this course is designed for. It's just an hour long. It's meant to go quickly. I get a little crazy in there, talk about different ways you can earn 1,000 gems or how you can earn 100 gems. And in fact, inside of that course, we announced our new kind of certification achievement plan. Which is, what we're gonna do is when you pass a certification, okay, a professional level certification, if you take a snapshot of it on your computer screen, whatever tool you're using, take a snapshot of it, post it, go to Linux Academy community, click on new post, select achievement, post a picture of it, talk about your experience, you put it inside the Linux Academy community, and we're gonna go award you gems that you can spend inside of the swag for gem store at Linux Academy. Because quite frankly,
yeah, and hasn't everybody checked that out? I mean, gems.
Yeah.
Everybody loved gems. I don't think we knew how big gems were going to be when it came to Linux Academy swag and using the purchase Linux Academy swag. And so everybody wants gems. They're always asking us, how do we get more gems? And so yeah, this is how you can figure it out, and this is how you can earn more gems, get them, and get some awesome Linux Academy swag.
Well, we feel like you should be rewarded for your hard work, right? Like you do dedicate a lot of time, and it's hard to sit down and dedicate time to study. And there's always 1,000 other things I'd like to do, and you should be rewarded for that. So you can get these hoodies, you can get exam vouchers for some vendors that let us do that. You can get the Golden Yeti.
That is coveted here at Linux Academy.
I don't know. I did not expect that to happen, but it did. Yeah, it's like the big one there. Stress balls, Pinehead the Penguin plushies. In fact, I don't know where it is, but one of the big ones is going to show up on there as well. So it's awesome. And if you follow me on Twitter at Anthony D. James, I give away a boatload of gems. And in fact, last night, in preparation for this live show.
You give away too many gems.
Way too many gems.
Way too many gems. It's above our budget for gems.
Yeah, so our CFO said, hey, just so you're aware, you're kind of going overboard. But that's all right, though. I love our students, so it's worth it. But, for everybody who helps share, I do giveaways. I gave away about 3,000 gems last night for everybody who helped talk about the live show and celebrate with what the team was doing. So follow me on Twitter. I give away gems, but we got a lot more here. So you're here for just more information, not more information about Linux Academy. What you're here for is some announcements. So we're going to start off. You know how to hit the next button? Are you ready for that?
I don't know if you're aware. I hope. I mean, if I touch it and it catches on fire, don't blame me.
Chris Fisher has gone through a lot of change over the past 30 minutes. So I'm not sure about like 3 minutes, actually.
Yeah,
so.
well, he'll be back. I'm just stepping in for a few minutes here.
All right, so it's Tom Hazlitt. All right, we'll go there, Thomas Hazlitt. But let's move on to the next one, and we'll have the training architect talk about it. It's one we're already aware of.
Yep, so we've already teased it. We already gave it away earlier in the show here, but...
Go ahead. I'll let you take it over, Tom, and take the
absolutely. So, the Microsoft Azure Infrastructure and Deployment AZ100 exam, developed by a training architect, Chad Kroll. And so we're super excited we have him on the stream today with us, and I want to just give him the opportunity to talk about the course, its features, what's involved, and all the work that he put into it. So, Chad, take it away.
Hello from Austin, Texas. My name is Chad Kroll, and this is my first course on Linux Academy. Really excited to deliver this Azure Infrastructure and Deployment course, which, like Anthony alluded to earlier, is kind of our, we pivoted really well to accommodate to the changes over at Microsoft. Just a few months ago, they kind of rip and replaced all of their exams. They have now this new role-based certification program. The AZ100 is one of those role-based certifications, which include the AZ100 and 101, which help you achieve your Microsoft Azure Administrator certification. So in this AZ100, this will kind of be your first introduction into kind of what is Azure, how does Azure work, what is the terminology that's used, and some of the differentiators between the different cloud technologies. So we dive into virtual machines, virtual networks, storage accounts. We even talk about Azure Active Directory. And then we get into even some this resource model that Azure uses. I'll teach you how to manage your subscriptions. That can be a confusing things with all the RBAC versus Active Directory versus classic subscription model. So this is, we have the interactive diagram, which is a kind of a conceptual view of, what does this look like from a 1,000-foot view and help you connect the dots and absorb that content better. And then we have a two-part exam too, which is great and allows you to go through not only multiple choice, but case study, and then which most closely relates to the actual AZ100 exam. And then last but not least, we have our fantastic learning activities and hands-on labs, which allow you to log into your own pre-provisioned Azure environment and start to use what you've learned. So I'm really excited to announce this new course, and I hope you like it.
Now, one of the Jupiter Broadcasting podcasts called TechSnap, what they do is they actually interview our course authors about some of the stuff that they're working on, some of the things that they've learned and challenges that they're facing. And Chad, you were recently on TechSnap, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, and I had a nice conversation with Wes about kind of the developments in the Azure platform. It's gone through a lot of changes in the past year. And we talked a little bit about it, and also, what it looks like for 2019 as well. Azure is starting to become a bigger player in the market, competing with AWS and Google. And so we talked a little bit about that, and it was really fun.
So I don't want to not talk about, like, we don't want to diminish when we talk about the pivot. When Azure announced, we were almost done with new 70 version certification courses. Azure comes out and announces this. Now, one of the biggest and hardest things to do is to, as a training architect, is to pivot in the middle of doing something. Like, you're thinking about building a project, building an application, and then right before you launch it, it doesn't matter anymore. 3 months of work down the drain. Countless dollars down the drain, countless effort. There's nothing more stressful for our training architects. But what they did, and I mean, quite frankly, this is what you pay for with the Linux Academy membership. But what they did and how they pivoted during the holiday season, and then they rallied to get it out for the students at the course standards that we maintain. We could have launched it out there when it was just a measly 3-hour course without anything great in there, without coverage, but our students never would have been successful. But they got it out there, and they got it quick for our students at our standards, and just the whole team that was part of that was an amazing contribution there.
Yeah, so I don't know if everybody knows, but a few months ago, we hired on 4 new Azure training architects. So we recognized that we really needed to bolster our Azure training, especially with the announcements of all the brand new Azure certifications. So we knew that we had to build our team, we had to scale it up, and to be able to support all of the new Azure content that is coming out. And so we brought them in, we onboarded them, we trained them all last quarter. They were building courses, learning activities, exams, and that really does, I think, lead nicely just into our next slide, because we want to talk a little bit more about what we're doing for Azure moving forward, as we have some additional Azure content currently in development. Now, Anthony, you were just talking about how Azure keeps switching things up. So we were in development for Azure 100, the AZ 100, AZ 200, and AZ 300. Now, the funny thing is we were getting close to finishing up the AZ 200 course, and Azure decided to go and basically junk the AZ 200 and AZ 201 course and combine the two into just one new exam called the AZ 203.
On December 28th.
Right.
So think of how far along the course was.
Yep.
December 28th, Merry Christmas.
It was pretty much almost done.
Change it. Yeah.
And then they just changed it all, and they combined the 2 exams, so we had to junk part of the course and redo the rest of it. And so that is currently in development, and we're going to be coming out in a few weeks. We're going to have that coming out. And so we can look at what we're working on here on the slide. And so the 203, that is getting pretty close, and we're going to have more announcements about that coming up next week and the week after, as well as the another Azure course that is launching soon. It says right there, the AZ 300. So that is going to be launching soon as well. So we are going to have the AZ 100, 203, and 300 all live on the site, within the next couple of weeks. And then moving forward, you can see what we're going to be working on next, which are going to be the next set of exams. And what is going to be really interesting is they Azure did not announce this back in September, but then they recently after that announced the AZ 900, which is going to be a fundamental, so a lower level certification, or I should say lower level, just more beginner certification, which I think is going to be great for those that are really just looking to get into Azure for the first time, that don't have any experience at all, whether it be with Azure or just cloud in general. So it'd be a really great starter course and starter certification if Azure is the direction you want to go in. And then we're going to look to finish off the rest of the courses or the certifications that Azure has put out with the 101 and the 301 to complete those sets, and then work also on the AZ 400, which is going to be the Azure DevOps solutions. So by the end of Q2 going into Q3, our goal is to have a lot of this Azure content done and out. So, we recognize the huge need for Azure training out there in the marketplace and how popular Azure is becoming. And so we want to make sure that it's there for all of you.
So, we have a lot more content announcements to do, but what I want again is articulate what you're paying for from a membership perspective. When you look at other training providers, they're kind of royalty based, which means they find a contractor, they deliver the course, it goes in. But what we do is our approach is different. And the reason it's different is what we do is we build teams dedicated around our content categories. So when we started and we got into security and we got into Azure, we built teams around that. We have content support managers, we have training architects, and we try to do relatively decent sized teams that allow us to produce content. So what you can expect from Linux Academy every single quarter going forward is launches on Azure as long as that category exists. And the other side of that is we're here to answer questions for our students. You're able to reach out to a training architect, answer questions. We make sure that you have the hands-on labs, the interactive diagrams, and it's just to kind of build it at the level that we build it. It takes a little bit more time than just throwing information on a PowerPoint and having some demos. And so the team is dedicated to that. Great job, team. Do not want to downplay that because it's a tremendous task. And when the vendors don't make it easier for you, it's even more tremendous. But let's get Tom. He's here. Let's give him some more announcements. Let's. Why don't you take the next announcement? Let's have some. Oh,
well,
trivia.
actually, yeah. I was about to say we have actually a trivia question we want to throw in here, which I think is going to give the opportunity for the first student in our chat to answer it to win gems. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, gems.
So I'm going to try not to reveal. I'm going to try not to screw this up and reveal the answer. But okay. So here's the question. So what year was the initial release of Windows Azure?
Well, so what's funny about that is when I saw this date, for some reason I thought it was later, right? I think AWS announced their first service in 2006 or something like that. It was 2006 or 2008. It was like SNS. But Azure launched, and I was surprised by the date, but Jay Margulis actually got it correct. It was 2010 when Azure launched itself.
Yeah.
When Microsoft
AI,
launched
it just launched
it just did it itself.
Right,
Yeah.
it just launched itself.
Azure's first announcement was Azure. Yeah. Yes. Okay, well, let's take it on to the next one. It actually dives over into AWS and something else. So go ahead, Tom. Let's take it.
So, I mean, what is one of the hottest trends right now in tech, right? In cloud? What is that?
It starts with a K.
It starts with a K.
Starts with a K.
We can't hear enough about it. We can't get enough training done on it. So yeah, announcing Amazon EKS Deep Dive. This was created by training architect Mark Richman. Did a great job putting this together, and I'm just going to give him the opportunity to jump in and start to talk about this because it's all about Kubernetes on AWS, which is just a really cool thing.
It is, Mark.
Hey, and before Mark starts, I owe him an apology. I called him Mark Richardson, which was somebody I used to work with. It is indeed Mark. It is indeed Mark Richmond. Sorry.
That's cool. I only work here. Whatever. Hey, everybody. Greetings from sunny Orlando, Florida. So what is this course all about? So this is a deep dive course into the Amazon Elastic Container Service for Kubernetes, or EKS. So if you're not familiar with what EKS is, it's AWS's managed Kubernetes service, which makes it easy to deploy, manage, and scale containerized applications using Kubernetes on AWS. So with that mouthful, who is this course for? So this is for anyone with a little experience with Kubernetes and containers and some exposure to AWS. So if you have some Kubernetes experience, this course will help you take it to the next level. So how's this course structured? We've got 4 main sections to this course. First is what Amazon EKS is. So how is it architected and how is it different than a self-managed Kubernetes cluster? And then how to configure and deploy an EKS cluster along with a hands-on lab where you'll create your own EKS cluster in our lab environment. Next section is developing for EKS. So here we'll learn how to build and deploy a microservices-based application into EKS. And then we give you a hands-on lab where you'll get to do this yourself. Next section is managing EKS in a production environment. So here you'll learn about monitoring an EKS cluster using Amazon CloudWatch, Prometheus, and Grafana, some very popular open source tools. How to update an application running in production with zero downtime. And we'll learn about auto-scaling an EKS cluster with a hands-on lab working with the cluster autoscaler in Kubernetes. And then finally, we have a section on applying best practices. So we'll cover continuous deployment with EKS, where we'll use AWS Code Pipeline to build a CI/CD system. And we'll move on to application tracing with AWS X-Ray. This will help you uncover performance bottlenecks in your microservices applications deployed to EKS. And we'll also cover logging from your pods to CloudWatch logs with FluentD, another very popular open source application. And then finally, we have a hands-on lab where you're going to learn all about logging EKS API calls with CloudTrail. So this is critical for maintaining the security of your cluster. And one unique feature you'll enjoy in all these hands-on labs are our Insta-labs. So with services like EKS, these resources normally take upwards of 20 minutes to deploy. With Insta-labs, you'll be able to click a start button and you'll be able to get near instant access to a fully deployed EKS cluster to help you make the most out of your valuable time. So we think this is the best EKS course out there, and I know you'll love it. Tom and Anthony, back to you.
Mark, that is an awesome intro. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And I was looking at the chat with lots of questions around Kubernetes. Now, if you don't know this, we have a lot of Kubernetes content at Linux Academy. Now, I think there's an update coming from CKA, and we actually have the CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administrator, rebuild, or we say rebuild for the newest exam objectives and a lot of our new standards. It's in development today to launch in April. We also have the certified Kubernetes developer in development today that's going to launch in April. And then we have a load of Kubernetes announcements on Tuesday and Thursday of next week again, but we also have Kubernetes the hard way. Now, quite frankly, I always see people ask questions, how do I learn to troubleshoot? How do I learn to master something? And you know, the certification courses teach you to administer at a certain level, but the best way to master and be an expert is to know it inside and out. And the Kubernetes the hard way course that we have on Linux Academy, what that does, it teaches you how to configure everything manually from the inside out. A lot of that configuration is now automated, but you want to be a master troubleshooter, you want to be a master at Kubernetes, you do it the hard way. Take Kubernetes the hard way, and you know Kubernetes. You can't deny that. So that's a lot of great stuff that we have in development. EKS, Mark, that's awesome. We're super excited about that. It was actually interesting. I'll be interested to see if we can get you on one of the podcasts, because I know you had some challenges with that EKS course that you had to be creative in overcoming in our hands-on labs. And I just want to say good job on that, because it's really cool that actually how you solved it to get it in the instant lab environment as well. So that's really cool. It's a great job of the team.
Yeah, fantastic job, Mark, and I'm sure that the students are gonna love the course. I've peeked through it, and it's pretty awesome.
It is. Well, take us to the next announcement. We got a lot more coming here.
Next announcement. Well, I mean, you know, it's a big announcement, but it's not a big announcement.
All right, I don't.
But I'm highlighting on the word big.
It's a medium big announcement, or
correct.
It's a big announcement that's inside of a I don't know. You're gonna have to just tell us. I'm confused.
Well, many of you know that last quarter we launched a totally redone AWS certified big data specialty course. Now, when we launched it, we didn't have as many hands-on labs as we would have wanted, but we really wanted to get it out the door. So Fernando continued to work through the last 2 months, through the holiday season, on building out an additional 8 hands-on labs that we've added to the course to supplement the hands-on learning experience there. So that is our medium-sized big data announcement.
But that's a big deal. The reason that's a big deal is remember these hands-on labs, right? They're instant, and they're independently consumable. So what that means is maybe I'm not interested in the big data cert, but I'm interested in learning how to do some things related to big data services on AWS. Now remember, we don't just do certification training at Linux Academy. So all of these hands-on labs are designed to be micro-learning, so you can take them independently. If you go into our new advanced search, if you go to linuxacademy.com, on the main navigation, it has this little magnifying glass. You click on that. Go to the new advanced search. You can sort and you can filter based off hands-on labs, based off of certification, based off of training architect, based off of length if you want to find content. Hey, I got 15 minutes. I want to take something. And then instant labs make it so you can, bam, jump in, learn it in a real environment. You don't have to wait for the environment deploy. You don't have to download files and then take it somewhere else and then troubleshoot it when it doesn't work. It's all about maximized learning. So adding hands-on labs, that's just a big thing, because that's huge for our students. The amount of learning and how quick you get it and the additional value from it, just great for our students. So it is a big announcement. That's a really big announcement. Yeah, we have more of them.
We have more announcements.
Let's keep them going.
We have more announcements. So we're going to move on. And I guess we're going to migrate to this next announcement.
Okay. So I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did there. I know. It's bad. I should just leave. So the next one coming up here. So Introduction to Cloud Migration Using Amazon Web Services. This is developed by one of our most veteran training architects, Craig R. Curie. And so I'm going to bring him in to talk about this course and tell us everything about it and what's involved. Before he does.
Before he does, I want to tell a story that I heard about Craig at reInvent. So a student comes up to me and he says, do you know that Craig's a really good training architect? And I said, yeah, I think we know that. And the best part about it was they said, no, I don't think you understand.
Oh,
I
think know this one.
downvoted something because I found an issue. It wasn't a real issue. I wish I could have, upvoted it and made a comment, but we don't do that because we want to make sure we see all the negative, even if it's a little negative, right? Because I downvoted it 3 days later, or it was the same day. I heard it twice. I think it was the same day. It's the same day. It's the same week at the very least. But either way, he's like, Craig reached out to me, told me he fixed the issue, and thanked me for doing it. Like, that's how much our team is watching on a daily basis, our training architects. So they reach out to you and do it.
We do, yeah.
That is just awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Anytime that when you're reviewing our content, you see the upvote and the downvote, the thumbs up, the thumb downs buttons. If you downvote and you put in a comment, right, something that is legitimate, criticism, something that you'd like to see fixed, an error that you see, right, we're constantly viewing that as it comes through on a daily basis, and as quickly as we can, we try to get in there and fix those issues. So,
and that's a last resort. Like, we have automated content review processes. We have a whole bunch of stuff. Our content managers are running those things. But at the end of the day, the number of updates and the number of content that we release, even though it goes through all the review and all those processes, stuff happens, stuff changes. And so our students help us out with that. We always appreciate it.
Yeah. But I do see that Craig is standing by here, so why don't we kick it over to him? And Craig, tell us about the course.
All right, Tom, thanks. Hey, folks, glad everybody could join this morning. I'm excited to introduce the new course and work with you all. So I was tasked with creating a cloud migration course for AWS. And I was given a time frame of roughly 3-hour course. So we talked about it and how could we have the most impact in a 3-hour course? Well, we went back to an old standby. We used the IM deep dive formula, So basically the student will be taking the course under the premise that they're working for a company and they're going to perform a cloud migration, kind of a first-person migrator, if you mind that phrase. So when you get into this course, you'll be able to follow along with me. You'll be able to do the course yourself, however you want to do it, however you can best learn about cloud migration. So initially, the course starts off with a cloud migration overview, and we'll just touch on the techniques to migrate to AWS, and certainly AWS has many services that are going to help you migrate. Now, once we do that, we dive deeper into migration. First, we're going to migrate databases, and we're going to do this in 2 ways. We're going to do a homogeneous migration, like-to-like database engines, and I chose SQL Server. So we'll perform that migration, and then we're going to perform a heterogeneous migration, dissimilar database engines. And we're going to migrate from SQL Server to Amazon Aurora, which is supported by MySQL. So we're going to show you techniques that you can jump right into. And if you have a migration, this will certainly get you the tools you need and the knowledge you need to perform that migration. And then we're going to wrap up the course with virtual machine migration. So what I chose to do with this, and there's kind of an end goal in this, we migrated using VM import-export, an AWS service. And a lot of that is from the command line interface. And the nice thing about that, anything you do from the command line, you can script. And the course wraps up, it kind of builds on this. The course wraps up with just talking about the disaster recovery strategies and how you can use migrations to help you with your disaster recovery efforts. So it's a short course, but we packed a big punch in this course, and we did it with the idea to get you up and running with migrations as quickly as possible. So I hope you enjoy the course, and I look forward to interacting with the students.
Craig, watching the chat here, there are so many fans that you have on Linux Academy, and it's just really cool to see, being a veteran and having more stuff on there, you're being here longer. So many students just recognize him through his CloudFormation course, the IM Deep Dive course. That's really great stuff. Now, one of the best ways to learn at Linux Academy is actually through the course schedule. And what that does is you put in the days that you want to learn in order to help stay on track, right? I want to commit to an hour a day, 3 days a week, and we'll send you reminders. Now, what happens when you fall behind? Like, there's a question from Aaron in here, and actually there's 2 ways to fix that. But what you really want to do is you just want to regenerate your course schedule. So on the link at the top where it says syllabus, details, downloads, once you have a course schedule, it will say manage course schedule. And if you click on that, it'll drop down and you'll have a recreate course schedule. And you just go in there and you modify your settings and it regenerates it based off where you want to start again. The reset course button on there is for if, hey, I'm done with all this course and I want to do it again, I'm going to reset my entire progress. Now, you reset it, it's gone. We're not getting that back. That's reset. So don't hit the reset of the course progress if you're trying to regenerate your course schedule. Now, I'm so excited. There's going to be a point in time, I don't know if it's next week or if it's in April, but our development team has been so hard at work on what we've called the Great Rewrite. So we're getting ready to launch those flashcards. We're launching a new course scheduler. And in fact, they're launching a new course service that allows our training architects to actually take the hands-on labs and put them throughout the course instead of at the end of a section, which is something that we want to update. And there's a few other updates.
That'd be a really nice feature, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, even like we're working on, we want to add autoplay in there option for students. So you don't have to hit mark as complete and move on every single time. So all of these things are in development, and it's going to be an exciting Q1, Q2 to launch out, and we're gonna do the same thing we do with our training architects and have some stuff on there. But let's we got more stuff.
We do.
Let's do some more stuff.
We do have more stuff, and yeah, we're already deep into it, but we actually have a lot more, or to say many more courses to announce here. So, Craig, thank you very much. Excellent job on the course, and I hope everybody enjoys learning about cloud migration, because I know that's been a big request from a lot of our students, and so we listen and try to get to all of the courses that you guys want to have on our site here. So, but yeah, coming up next, I was trying to think of a good pun for this one, but I just couldn't. Either way, Cloud Security Fundamentals by training architect Justin Mitchell. So yeah, I want to bring him on here, give him a chance to talk about it. And then after that, I'm actually just going to talk a little bit about our fundamental category of courses and what we're trying to do moving forward with having various levels of courses and really creating some more fundamental types of courses. But I'll get a little more into that once Justin has a chance to talk about the course and let you all know what's in it.
Hey, thanks for that, Tom. So this course, this Cloud Security Fundamentals course, is designed around how quickly the cloud has taken our industry over, right? The innovations that's come with the clouds has left a lot of security experts kind of scrambling to meet and understand how to secure these new environments and using this innovation that comes with this cloud technology. And so this course is designed around introducing concepts. It's completely vendor neutral, but introducing those concepts that we can use in our security stacks to secure our networks and our applications as we migrate them to the cloud. In it, we'll cover the agreement concepts. We'll also cover securing this innovative technology. And like I said, using that innovative technology in our stacks to really secure our applications and our systems. Along with that, we'll look at the security functions in a cloud environment. We'll talk about some of the practical locations of where our security stack, how it needs to be built out in a secure cloud environment versus that traditional on-premise environment. And then we'll go into managing GRC as governance, risk management, and compliance in a cloud environment.
Justin, that's awesome. I know we had a lot of requests for this. Just understanding what's the foundation of it, what's a component of it, right? Like you understand the foundations of cloud security. You take it into a cloud provider, and from there, we try to teach people to fish. Yeah. So instead of fishing for them, and so great job, Justin. Really, really excited about that. It was a pun on Chris Fisher, who just walked back in the door.
Came back in.
and I want to. Oh, go ahead.
So before you move on to the next topic. I just want to take a second to talk about really our new fundamentals category of courses. So we've been working on developing several new categories of courses. I know if you go on our site right now, you'll see concept courses, you'll see some essentials courses, then you'll see, generally then kind of intermediate certification, deep dives, and advanced courses. And we've really been working on figuring out, where are we missing? Where do we have gaps in our content that we need to fill in? And so one of the areas that we looked into, and we ended up just calling it fundamentals. And just as Justin was saying, all the fundamental courses or courses that'll be labeled fundamental are going to be, kind of gender neutral. Did I say gender neutral? I meant vendor neutral, yes. Vendor neutral. Thank you, Terry, for a good laugh there. So vendor neutral. And so what we want these to do...
I'm sorry, Chris Fisher is crying over here. He's crying. Like,
at least I'm being professional. I'm holding it together over here.
This is next level.
You're doing great.
This is next level. This is next level laughing. He's so
It's going to be a great highlight clip,
He's
though.
so red,
That's
yeah.
going to be, that's going to be a great highlight clip.
Live stream.
So I'll try to pull it together now and come back to this. So with our fundamentals courses, right, they're going to be, conceptual courses. They're going to be courses that, it's not going to get hands-on into any particular platform, right? It's going to be to teach you the basics, the IT basics that you need if you are brand new to IT or just kind of want to re-solidify some of the concepts that you may have learned in the past and want to learn again before moving into more advanced intermediate courses or advanced level courses.
Fundamental of subnetting.
Right. So we have subnet fundamentals. We'll have things in the future like big data fundamentals, right? File system fundamentals, compliance in the cloud fundamentals, right? Open source fundamentals. So just covering just the basics of IT in a very much vendor neutral way that we didn't really have a lot of in the past because we're concentrating just on Linux or AWS or Azure, Google, Docker, Kubernetes, all that sort of thing. So yeah.
Also, you just quoted our Q1 roadmap.
Our Q1 roadmap.
So real quick on two things on that. So first off, I saw not on that, but I saw somebody talking about, hey, how do I get swag? That's our swag for Gems store. You get gems by learning at Linux Academy. You get gems by posting stuff. That's how you get swag. We ship out so much swag. And number two, right behind us, I don't know if you can see it, here behind this wall is a team of about, 4 people, 5 people. And all of them were working for the past 7 days, setting up this live stream, taking it to the next level for us, and then they're over there managing it. So big shout out before we continue on to our next one, which is super, super highly requested course. Just want to give a great kudos to the team back there. Great job and thank you. Thank you.
Now, Chris did come back in the room because I'm going to be handing it off to him to take over for the remaining of the announcements. So just want to say it's been great to be on the show, to be able to talk to all of our students, and I really hope everybody enjoys our launch.
It's always good seeing you because you're remote, so you come in the office. Thanks for coming. And it's really exciting what Tom's team is doing because, we've restructured our content teams last year. We have all this new stuff going. It's why we've been able to deliver all the amazing things we've been delivering on. But, if you understood what was going on inside of Linux Academy and what Terry and Tom were looking at, you would see that we haven't even gotten started yet. And that all we see is opportunity to improve substantially. And I know I saw some of his plans yesterday, so I was pretty excited about that. Yeah, so good job, and it's always glad to have you in town.
So we do have the next one up, so I will introduce that and then give Ermin a chance to talk about it. But it is a Kali Linux deep dive. And Ermin's been working on this, and we're really excited about it. And so we're going to bring Chris back in to follow up after Ermin gets a chance to speak. But again, thanks everybody for having me on the stream, and I will see you all on linuxacademy.com.
Thanks for coming.
Hello, everybody. So I'm the author of Kali Linux Deep Dive, and I've made it in such a way so that it differentiates itself from 90% of other hacking courses out there. In a sense that the course doesn't really actually teach you how to use other people's stuff. So it doesn't teach you how to go online, find an exploit that has already been found, and then use that exploit. Rather, instead, what it teaches you is how to create your own exploits, how to find your own vulnerabilities, and how not to be a script kiddle, so to say. So you will take a forensics approach in this course where you will find malware, go malware hunting, then we will take that malware, reverse engineer it, rip it apart, see what it does, and then we'll actually proceed on to developing our own vulnerabilities, our own countermeasures to the problem that malware presents. We will also go we'll also write our own Metasploit modules. So we won't be actually using other people's modules. Rather, instead, we will write our own modules for the vulnerabilities that we have found, and we will write our own exploits and embed them into those modules as well. So we will find that whatever it is that we will be doing in this course, that we'll always be writing our own code, our own scripts, and that we won't be using other people's stuff, because that is the purpose of this course, to teach you how this is done, to teach you how 90% of vulnerabilities out there were found. They were found by somebody taking a code, reverse engineering it, spending years or months or some amount of time trying to figure out where the problem lies, what they can exploit, and what they can do about it. This Cloudflare didn't get hacked by somebody going into the Google database and finding an already existing vulnerability there. It was hacked by somebody taking the time to take a look at the proxy servers, take a look at the requests and how they were formed and where the buffer overflow lies. And then when they found it, they've exploited it. And that is what I'm going to teach you here. I will literally teach you how to reverse engineer, how to find vulnerabilities in the code itself, extract them from there, and then convert them into exploits. So how you can exploit the vulnerabilities that you have found. Furthermore, even when we do the scanning part, when we actually do reconnaissance and network scanning and stuff like that, we won't be just using Nmap. We'll actually be writing our own scripts in Nmap. So we want to test for a particular vulnerability that we suspect exists on the system. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and write our own NSE script and plug it into the Nmap engine, and then use it in order to test whether that vulnerability does indeed exist on that system or any other system that we are scanning. And before I actually wrap up, I would like to mention something before I forget, that you do have a lot of value in the actual course itself, as you do have a lot of value in all of the LA courses and in all of the features that they present before you, like labs, flashcards, cheat sheets, study guides, the charts, videos, etc. But there's also a lot of value to be found in the actual community section. You will find an unprecedented level of support that we offer. You can post in the community, somebody will answer you usually within the same day or within the same hour, it depends on when you post it. You can open up a ticket. You can even talk live to pretty much all the course architects out there in our Slack channel, which is basically just log into it and that's it. And you have access to all the course architects there. If you ask them there and if you reference their name in Slack, they will reply to you and help you out in pretty much any way that they can. That's it. I got nothing else.
Urban, this is the next level course. That's what I'll say is, I mean, not only are you, somebody asked, don't you need a fundamental understanding of some stuff? And I'm like, well, you're going to get it because you're writing it in this course is what it looks like.
Kali Linux is so exciting.
Yeah.
This is absolutely one of the ones I'm taking. Ermin, great.
Yeah,
great
this is
work.
tremendous. And Ermin, like, give yourself some credit. I mean, we talk about people in the Slack community talking about helping with it's slack.linuxacademy.com. You're always in there in the security channel.
Yeah.
And Ermin has been doing a lot of our security stuff, and he's a big product advocate for Linux Academy. It's really a pleasure having you on staff, Ermin. Thanks for taking the time. I know it's a little bit of time zone difference for you too.
Yeah, great work.
Yep.
So I feel like we need to re-announce some content.
Okay.
Because looking at this YouTube channel,
reading the chat,
people are requesting things that we've had for 6 months now. So let's see. I've seen requests, multiple requests for I want Bash scripting. All right. Well, we have the best course on Bash scripting. It's called Bash, the System Administrator's Guide to Bash Scripting. Well, I want Python scripting. Well, check out our Python 2.7 administration scripting course, or the Python 3, we have both of them. Well, I'm looking for Puppet and Ansible and Chef. Well, we have the Puppet certification.
Boom.
We have the Ansible certification.
Boom.
We're also working on 3 new Ansible courses this quarter.
Boom.
We have the Chef certification.
Pow! All right.
This guy.
That's you.
This guy had some coffee while he was away. Yeah, so it's on there. Go to the advanced search. Go to the Learning Center. Click on that search thing. It's all there inside of linuxacademy.com. That's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. Let's get some more announcements or trivia.
No, I had to come back, and if I'm coming back, we're doing trivia.
We're doing trivia.
No doubt about it.
All right, you
this
called
one,
it. It's all yours.
I never would have guessed. I actually fact checked it. What was Windows Azure called before it was named Windows Azure?
Yeah, which seems wrong.
It's now just Microsoft Azure. Like, that's the elephant in the room. We all know that. But before it was Microsoft Azure, it was Windows Azure. And before it was Windows Azure, it was known as something else entirely.
Can I give a clue? I give a clue. I read the name of this and I think Red Bull. I think it's related somehow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like from a childhood book series.
Could be that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, oh my gosh.
No way.
We got
No
some
way.
crazy smart people in here.
Hey, I got good news too.
Yeah?
We the folks in the room over there are monitoring all of the chat rooms that we can possibly monitor, and they're going to be giving out multiple gems. So you don't just have to be the first. If you get it right, they're going to be pulling several names.
Also, if you want gems, follow me on Twitter because I give them away all the time.
There you go.
So, yeah.
You ready for the reveal?
I'm ready for the reveal.
Didn't expect this would be the answer. Project Red Dog.
Nope, see, Red Bull. Bull is a bulldog.
Yeah?
Red Bull.
I was thinking Red Rover. I
Okay.
don't know what I was thinking.
Really, I just made it up as well.
Azure gives you wings. Azure gives you wings. All right, but we are now into
More
the course
announcements.
minutes. Yes. Very excited to be bringing on Robert to talk about CompTIA PenTest Plus certification. Security.
Robert?
That's great. Robert, tell us about it.
Hey everybody, this is Robert or Bob here from Kentucky, and we're super excited to be bringing you the PenTest Plus course. Now we cover pen testing from A to Z, all the way from the start to finish, all the processes involved, and there's always been a bit of mystery or mystique about pen testing and hacking. So we try to introduce you to some tips and tricks to help you be successful. Now, this course is a little bit different when it comes to labs. We weren't able to create the live labs that you're used to in other Linux Academy courses. However, we did create 4 virtual machine instances for you to download so you can run your own pen test lab in VirtualBox. And we did create 28 lab walkthroughs in which we provide you with the instructions, the commands to run, and then an actual walkthrough and explain what we're doing and why we're doing it and how we do it so that you can be successful at pen testing. And some of these labs are things like identifying vulnerabilities and exploiting them, which is always fun, and performing attacks like a pass the hash attack, or creating persistence with Netcat or the interpreter. So again, the PenTest Plus course is pretty fun. There's lots of great activities in it. And we have our interactive diagram, the Shadow Chronicle, that helps walk you through the course and show you some screenshots and different things as we discuss it. So we're just super excited to bring this content to you and to help you achieve your goals and to be successful.
Robert, Bob, I'm going to call you both. We're going to go with both. The name's on the I'll call you Bob, though. The thing is it's a great job working around some of the limitations that we actually encountered with our hands-on labs. And I want to talk a little bit about that and what we're working on mitigating on there. But this course looks amazing. It's a highly requested course. Something wrong here, but where all of our archive stuff is actually going to come back out sometime in the next 2 months or 3 months or so. But the team is actually, we had a little, to say a little bit too much, but not really, as you guessed, our lab platform runs across multi-cloud. And we have multi-cloud controllers. It's really super cool, to be honest with you, how it works. And the cloud providers we were tied into didn't allow us to do the type of security labs we were looking at doing. So we had to take a step back and say, how are we going to approach this?
I look at it again, yeah.
And what's really cool is they got some development done. Part of this was with our Google Lab completion that we are now complete on. The training architects are working on developing some labs that'll show up through the quarter.
Huge.
Yes, and it's going to allow us to add those security labs. So Bob, great job on that. Thanks for taking the time to come on the live show. But we got more. We're running out of time. We got more.
Yeah, we do. That's probably what the knock was about. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up. Well, why don't we talk about Hadoop Quick Start?
Hadoop Quick Start.
You got to say it like that, though. Hadoop Quick Start. And Miles is joining us. Miles, are you on the line? And can you tell us about this excellent course? By the way, did you see the amount of videos on that last one? Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Quality, objective coverage. That's the goal.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't hear Miles, so I can introduce it for him if he's not here.
Oh, he's there.
Okay, go ahead, Miles.
Hey, so as the name implies, this is a very beginner level introductory course to Hadoop. If you're anything like me, several years ago when I was first being introduced to Hadoop, it's really overwhelming. The Hadoop ecosystem is gigantic. There's technologies all layered on top of each other. You don't really know where to start. So this course is just a very quick introduction to Hadoop, specifically HDFS and MapReduce, just to help get your feet wet with the Hadoop ecosystem.
Course videos there. That's pretty nice. And what can students learn when they review the videos?
So we're going to go through the basic concepts of Hadoop. We're not going to spend a lot of time on conceptuals. We're just going to jump right in and start doing some demos. You'll be able to follow along with me with your cloud servers. We have a little interactive diagram as well to kind of split screen with our demonstrations. And then you're also going to have a lab at the end as well to stand up your own Hadoop cluster.
Hadoop!
In kind of a pseudo-distributed mode and run some MapReduce jobs.
Way to go, Miles. Very nice. Thank you for joining us and telling us about that. I like pretty good. Did you sort everything out with engineering?
I did, because what's happening is we're missing a slide here.
Oh, really?
And Terry, our VP of content, Terry, you're on here, so I want you to answer for this.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Yeah. So Terry, last night, unless I read it wrong, you sent me a Slack message when I asked what courses we were launching, and Prometheus and Grafana was one of them, wasn't it?
Mm.
No.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and announce it anyway.
Anthony Leak.
Because I messed up on that one. Because what I did was I told everybody on Twitter it was coming today.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to have to expedite that and get it out here in the next day or two.
Sure.
And I'm going to have to apologize to everybody that now has to do that. But
We've got more live
That's
streams.
my bad. We do have more live streams. But I said it on Twitter. We got to follow through. We got to follow through. So I'll have to. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some groveling over that. So sorry about that, Terry.
Gems make things better.
Yeah, we do have a Prometheus and Grafana course we're launching this month, right? So I can go ahead and do that, can't I? Terry?
Survey says?
I think we lost Terry's meter.
Well, when you don't get an answer and you're the boss, the answer is yes.
That's for sure.
So...
If there's not one, there will be.
Hey, why don't we take a moment and talk about learning paths?
Let's do it.
I couldn't unmute. So monitoring Kubernetes with Prometheus is on the launch schedule for this month.
Okay,
Awesome.
so we'll
Thank you,
expedite
Terry.
that and we'll soft launch it out there and we'll talk about it again.
Terry's the best.
My bad to Travis, one of our veteran course authors who I know was doing that and probably wanted to do that. So I'll send you a little something special.
Gems? A golden Yeti.
Golden Yeti. You gotta go.
All right, you want to talk about learning
Let's
paths?
talk about learning paths. We got learning path updates. I saw people asking for them in the chat here.
Yeah.
So this is how quickly we deliver.
Dang.
Yeah.
You mean just now they were asking?
They were just saying, hey, can we get updated learning paths?
And granted.
We just went and did it. Done.
Yeah, just boy, you step out of the room for like a hot minute and you get a lot done. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah. So look, we have a lot of updates and our learning path strategy game is getting a lot stronger. Tom and his team are really, really focused around developing strong learning paths. Now, one of the problems, believe it or not, with learning paths is everybody wants to maintain their progress. But we update content when it's outdated, which means a course that was there that's older, that's still good for older versions that we want to keep, we have to launch a new course and swap it in and out. So that's actually...
Swap it into the path.
Yeah. And that's actually a very unique challenge with how much content that we launch, that when we do things, we want to make sure we focus on quality. So we're taking the approach of how do we make sure that our strategy and our engineering component of that solves one of the biggest problems that you have at Linux Academy. And your biggest problem at Linux Academy is we update the content for you and we launch a lot of content. So I don't know if that's really a big problem or not.
It could be a little hard to keep track of, but you guys have got it covered now. Well, it's better than ever, actually.
Getting there, yeah.
Yep.
So these are the new learning paths.
All right, there's also probably a moment here to talk about Cloud Playground because this is getting better and better all the time.
I love Cloud.
Great way to practice your skills. Great way to learn and really learn this stuff like muscle memory style. That's what I love about the Cloud Playground. Better than ever.
Well, so the thing is, we had cloud servers. We launched Linux Academy, and this is going to be trivia at some point in time, so maybe you should pay attention. We launched Linux Academy March 12th, 2012, and we launched with our server labs. We had AWS hands-on labs in 2013. We had OpenStack labs in 2014. So we've been a lab-based company for quite a while now. And so what we've done is we took approach. We manage over 20,000 virtual machines with Cloud Playground.
Wow.
There's lots of configurations that have to be managed at scale. There's lots of security components to manage at scale.
No kidding.
I mean, we like to practice what we preach.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
that's true.
And so we launched this new Cloud Playground that comes with a lot of new features. So Cloud Consoles is in there. Now, before you say, when can I get my Azure and Google sandbox environment?
Soon.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It is on the way. They're developing it right now. We had to pause a little bit to make sure that our migration over to Cloud Playground didn't cause confusion for our students.
Yeah.
That's very, very important.
Yeah, got to get it right.
Yeah, we still have a lot of content that uses cloud servers.
Yeah.
But you get the instant terminal, you get cloud consoles.
You get the instant terminal. I mean, say that again. You get the instant terminal.
So you can learn while at work. You don't have to worry about port 22.
Just fire up a web browser and go.
You get units now. So you used to only be able to launch 6 cloud servers. Now you can launch 9, but you can also use those units to determine what sizes you want to launch. And what I will say is we have enough units in there to cover any course that you take at Linux Academy. We will always make sure there's enough units to cover what the training architect is doing.
I like that new system. I think that's really good. So we've had a ton of questions coming in through the chat room this entire stream. It's been a big stream, a lot of stuff. We have covered a large range of stuff. Azure, AWS, some great security courses, reminded you some features of the platform. They've just gotten better and better. So this is your chance to ask Anthony and I any questions, get those going. We'll monitor the chat room. And maybe while they're asking their questions, because they're on a delay, maybe we just cover a little bit about last year.
Yeah, we'll do that because we're running out of time. So a little bit about last year. So there's a lot of good stuff on here.
I know.
We launched over 520 hands-on labs. We launched 67 courses. We started our new process of content in January. We said we were delivering in April. We delivered more than we promised. We said we were delivering in July. We delivered more than we promised. We said we were delivering in November. We delivered more than we promised. And we're delivering the things that are highly requested on our content voting dashboard inside the Linux Academy community, but we have other strategies around that as well. And we're going to continue scaling that as we go along this year. Now, most importantly, you'll never believe this. Our average rating satisfaction and success rate for our courses went up by 17%. Even though we increased the quantity. Because a lot of times you say you can't have quantity and quality.
You guys are doing too much stuff.
Yeah. Boom.
Wow.
Quality went up, and we still have a long way to go. Our average video rating is mid-90s. You know, so we still have. That's amazing. Statistically, 5%.
But we could do even better.
We're going to do better, and there's a lot of standards. There's a lot of we have a lot of platform updates coming out that are going to make usability even better. How many times have we heard? I don't like clicking mark complete anymore. I mean, we've been doing that for 7 years. I get it. You don't want to do it anymore. You need some options. We're giving them to you. We're gonna. It's coming.
It's pretty neat. So questions are coming in, and while you guys finish up questions, I'll toss a trivia at your faces.
All right.
You ready for this? What's the name for a storage container in Azure? I actually know this one. What's the name for a storage container in Azure?
Well, I hope so. It says it right there.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? That does make it easier. And I'm scanning the chat room. Some comments in there about people on the $5 a month plan. That's hilarious. Oh, we already have answers? Man, they're on top of it. Wow.
Well, let's not skim over that $5 a month plan before we do this. So here's the deal. At Linux Academy, we do what's called grandfathered plans. So that means even though we add so much to your membership, we never, when you have a membership at Linux Academy, unless you hit the cancel button and have to reactivate, as long as you maintain an active membership, your pricing will never change.
Locked in.
There's a lot of providers out there that will actually just change it on you without even telling you.
Welcome to the new pricing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even if they do tell you, then how do you plan for that? Once you have it, you're locked in forever. It's our way of saying thank you.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue adding. We're throwing out way more labs. We're going to start throwing out more content. We have more content categories in 2019 that we're going to launch. I think 3.
Really?
That
Total
we're hoping to
new
launch.
categories.
3 brand new categories.
Anthony Leak, you heard it here first.
Hey, I like giving stuff out. I love it. All right, let's go back.
Let's go back to the trivia. So, what's the name for a storage container in Azure? It is a blob, and we had a lot of those in the chat room. Chat room's on there. They're getting these cloud storage fundamentals.
We're gonna have to up the game on trivia.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to up it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been a lot. And I told you at the start of this. This was one worth to travel down for.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Oh yeah.
We're just getting started.
So it's not Thursday this week.
No.
It's Tuesday and Thursday of next week.
But thank you to the trained architects who had the time to join us this week and come on here. And remember, like we talked about earlier, there is more hands-on Azure training coming soon, which is
so
incredible.
much Azure training coming.
And even when you're busy and on the go, you can still participate in learning.
So here's my coolest thing about the new mobile apps and kind of our new architecture. So before, we talked about we were on a legacy component when we were small. That when I first built Linux
first
Academy
iteration
with one
of
other
it.
person, and now we have this giant team that's kind of rewritten it.
Yeah.
And so many of our features we haven't been able to put into the mobile app. Well, now it's all coming to the mobile apps. We have an Apple TV app for you to watch.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Our goal is to get Chromecast support out there pretty quick.
I will
Final
check that
tweaks
out.
on there.
That is
you
so
can
cool.
download them on the go. So if you want to study on the train or on the airplane without the internet, download them on your device. You can absolutely do that. Flashcards, I love popping them up, sitting in the waiting line doing flashcards.
Yep.
So lots of stuff coming to the mobile app. Check them out. It's on iOS. It's on Apple TV iOS. It's on Google Chrome, or not Google Chrome, Google Play.
Yep.
And it is going to come to Amazon Store. It's going to come to the Amazon Store, too.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you. I also believe in our next live show. Thank you for celebrating with us, everyone. The next live show is Tuesday, January 22nd. That time is Central Time, Chicago time, 10:30 a.m. It's a good time, the best time.
The same time, the
As this
same
one.
day,
Yeah.
just 7 days from now.
Same
The
bat
next one.
channel, same bat time, just a different bat day.
Yeah.
That's how we do it here at Linux
And
Academy.
rest assured, I'm going to give away 3,000 more gems on my Twitter between now and the next live show at Anthony D. James. Connect on there. Be sure you can get some of that opportunity.
I'm going to just set up a different Twitter account and just so I can get
and
some
just
of
do
those.
it. Hey, I fall for it. I'll fall for it.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to the training architects. Now go out there and learn.
Great job, Linux Academy. Great job, students. Keep it up.